Hey, welcome back to How to Hustle, the podcast where we interview those who think and do outside of the box. I'm your host, Hazel Wetta,
I'm Gustavo Armas.
And I'm Nomad Eye.
and this is Nomads Eye. So I don't usually interview journalists. I am one myself. So talk about what Nomads Eye is and tell us what makes you guys so different.
Yeah, so Nomads Eye is independent multimedia journalism. We started this last year. We went to the inauguration, and that's kind of where this all began. In the fall, we spent 3 months traveling South America, and that's kind of the whole thing that we're doing. We go to places, we talk to locals, and we try to show a different perspective than what large broadcast journalism kind of talks about when they talk about these other areas. Like South America usually gets like a bad message, bad light shown upon it, and we kind of just try to show what it actually is like to live out there.
Yeah, and this idea has kind of been expanding this past year. So we came up with the idea like late 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, like you said, we went to the U.S. inauguration, talked to people there, and that's kind of where it all got started. Our whole basis is people, is talking to people, is getting to know what it's like to be from one place or another, specifically from their perspective, what it's from their view of being the local that lives there. And like you said, we went to South America for 3 months, saw a bunch of stuff, got to meet a lot of cool people, and really be able to document our experience of our travels while we were there, but also talk to the people and show what it's like to be, or I guess what their story is.
Yeah, share their stories.
We don't necessarily go in with, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. We like to go in with open minds and talking to people, and through those discussions, understand what we want to talk about. If it's politics, if it's culture, if it's tradition.
Allow them to tell the story.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, a lot of people think broadcast journalism and they immediately think, oh, your local stories. What's the snow for this upcoming weekend?
Yeah.
What made you kind of go outside of the country to cover those stories?
Well, I think for both of us, we come from multinational backgrounds. I'm French, he's Venezuelan. This whole kind of idea started coming when I was studying in Spain, and he was studying in Spain at the same time. So we're people who have been lucky enough to travel even before we started this. And I think through that, you start to realize that, when you haven't been able to see different things and you haven't been able to travel like that, a lot of people have like a closed-minded idea of what different places are like. They're told what it's like and they don't actually get to see it. So that was kind of the idea, is to actually shine light and show instead of just tell.
There's a whole world out there.
Yeah.
There really is. And yeah, I think for us, I mean, we have covered some things in here in the U.S., but we kind of give that to ourselves, that we kind of want to have a global audience, which is something that we're actively working on. All of our videos are like narrated in English, subtitled in Spanish, and kind of gearing towards a Spanish audience as well. But it really is just visiting different places, getting to know all these different places, and understanding what this place current issues are about. Because I mean, last fall we went to Peru, Colombia, Argentina, and we got to learn about those places at that specific point in time. Like Peru might look a whole lot different now. Like things have different changed. Specifically, the political spectrum's definitely changed a lot over the past couple months. So definitely being able to go in with our experience, having not only seeing everything that we've seen, but him like having that French family, me having the Venezuelan background, like being able to know that like there is this whole world out there. There's all these perspectives that we need to talk about.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year.
You guys mentioned studying in Spain. What did you guys study?
I studied international relations,
Okay.
studies, and then international studies, and concentrated in global relations. And then I had like a double minor in business administration and Spanish.
Yeah, and for me, I'd say I had doing business administration, entrepreneurship was my focus. So I was just studying abroad with the Pool College. We set up everything. It was with ICADE, the Comillas School in Madrid. So business classes for the most part. I took 2 Spanish culture classes in Spanish, but the rest of them were just to fulfill my business credits.
Now, a lot of the businesses that we cover usually at NC State's Innovation Entrepreneurship are very on the techie side, on all about computers and AI and even sustainable tech. How different it is to run a company that's all about media.
Yeah, I think that's something that when we were first starting this, we definitely ran into with NC State, was that a lot of the experience came from STEM businesses. I remember initially talking to a couple people from professors at State and trying to get some perspectives on how we could go about what we were doing, and they just didn't really have experience in what we were doing. So it was really interesting to start building this kind of in the blind. A lot of what we've learned has kind of just been as we go, just making mistakes and learning from them. But also, I would say more once we reached Argentina, Gus started talking. He reached out to a couple of journalists on LinkedIn, and we started interviewing them. A couple of them had, ventured into building their own stuff, and being able to talk to them was a really good perspective, just because we had never spoken to anyone who had built something like this. But really, for what we're doing, I feel like a lot of this is really just we've had to figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
And we haven't really necessarily had people telling us what the next step should be, and it's been more like, all right, well, that went wrong, so how can we make that right?
Yeah, and definitely the initial, when we started, we were still in our senior year, so we definitely try to take advantage of being part of NC State and use NC State's network, because it's huge. But in terms of that, the digital media space, the content creation, there wasn't really like a good resource to go to. So we try to inform ourselves as best as we could to try to take advantage of the university resources, because if you're a student and you have a business idea, definitely take advantage of it while you're in college. Even though we still didn't have like a clear resource, we
were taking a lot of resources from here. We were editing our videos in the library. We were doing a lot of stuff. They had initially
the media room in the library.
Initially, it helped us out a lot when we had like our bad gear, because we've been able to invest a bit more as time has gone on. But initially, without NC State, we would have had nothing going at all. But
it's definitely been a learn as we go with like the business side of things. I think the journalism aspect, like you said, like being out there and talking to journalists from other countries that have gone through like a similar experience of trying to do their own thing. Definitely taught us a lot about how we should go about researching, about talking to people, and just the way we go about doing things.
She even building the multimedia side of things as well, because we were able to talk to a journalist in Argentina who had built her own multimedia company, and she was able to I would say we learned a lot from her for sure.
Yeah, and it's that. With the journalism aspect, with content creation, we talked to somebody in Peru that gave us a lot of tips about it. That's also another thing. We both didn't really get into social media. We weren't making TikToks or Instagram Reels or anything like that before. So this is all new to us, and we're trying to learn how to market ourselves, but also not stray away from our vision and who we are. We don't want to become
influencers
or anything like that. We want to be able to maintain our vision and what we're doing, but also be able to promote ourselves better in social media with engagement and trying to get people to stay in their screen longer than 4 seconds before scrolling away. So
kind of learning how to adjust for that stuff. As far as with stuff like this, you definitely have to show personality, because if you don't, then no one's the attention spans are not going to be able to last longer enough to get through it. So it's been a learning process of how can you build a documentary journalism multimedia sort of company, and at the same time show the personality without leaning into that influencer culture. And that's definitely been something that we've run into and that we're working with now, and that we're learning how to get through.
Now, how do you guys decide on decisions as two people in a multimedia company? I see that you guys kind of have a yin and yang outfit going on. I don't know if you guys noticed, but how does it work with having two founders? How do you guys decide on things?
Yeah, so I guess for us, like you mentioned, yin and yang. I studied business entrepreneurship with the minor in international studies. He studied international studies with the minor in business and Spanish. And so I feel like I have more knowledge and control over the business side of things, operations, the way it works. And he has kind of more the journalistic mindset of doing the research, of the writing, journalistic writing and what that looks like. And basically we both kind of knew our strengths and weaknesses from each other, and that's kind of how we kept things moving forward.
Yeah.
I think as peers, like, we knew each other before we started this. We knew what we were getting into. Getting into a business with somebody that you know can go really good or can go really bad, but I think for us it's worked really well.
Yeah, we've been lucky that it's been able to go well. And I think, like, from the get-go, we kind of knew each other's strengths and weaknesses, which also helped a lot because that was kind of why we founded this together, you know, knowing that there was an opportunity to do something really cool here. Having a mutual vision has definitely helped a lot.
Yeah.
We see this going in the exact same place. We see the way to get there the exact same way. It's just about one person knowing how to do one thing and the other person knowing how to do the other. And we each know, like, you know, we each know how to do both sides of it, but there's definitely one that's better at each. And kind of meeting in the middle there has been, you know, we've run into little issues here and there, but it's never been anything where we haven't been able to overcome it. And kind of, I think that vision from the very start, from the get-go, the immediate idea of what we wanted this to turn into has always been at the core. So those decisions are never too hard to make.
Now, I saw on social media that you guys covered a recent protest in Durham. Where can we see Nomads Eye going next?
Well, we are actually going to be going to Panama in March. So we're spending 3 weeks bouncing around Panama a little bit. We'll be in Panama City for the most part because a lot of the country is centered in there. We want to cover a whole lot of different things there. I think this is a new kind of experience for us for the travel journalism type thing, because with what we did in the fall, 3 countries in 3 months, 1 month in each, it was a lot longer. And we didn't really have much structure when we came into it. We knew where we would be and when we would be there, but we didn't have anything planned as far as interviews booked or stuff like that. This time, this go around, we're taking a different approach. We've been reaching out to people that are in the fields that we're looking into, that are experts in what we want to talk about. So we're going to be a little bit more structured, and we're going to know more where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing on each day, kind of from the get-go. And yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's the plan right now. I mean, we're based in the U.S. right now, so every time that there's something like the protest, people will be out trying to get that information, trying to get people's perspectives on the protest as well. But that's our next big step. I think after Panama, we'll just have to see where we end up at.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
It's been nice kind of experimenting with different kind of ways to approach the journalism, the travel journalism. I mean, being away for 3 months, being away for a month, 3 weeks, or, you know, we're talking about going to DC for a day and, like, spending time there and see what that looks like.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's all over the place.
Now, bouncing back to my other question about how so many of these businesses nowadays are all about science and tech, what are some words of inspiration you guys have to people who want to connect with people, to have a business come out from media, people, storytelling? What's your advice for that?
I would say there's never been a better time to get into it. Because of the science and the tech. We have opportunities now that no generation's ever had. I don't think anybody at any point in the history of the world has been able to travel as easily as you can now, has been able to see the things that you're able to see now. It's accessible. And, you know, getting out there and getting to know someone from somewhere that you have nothing in common with does a lot for you. And that's something that we've experienced firsthand.
In terms of making a living out of it or steering away from the STEM aspect, what better? Like he says, we have the internet. I mean, it's super easy. I mean, for us, that's kind of what we did. Like, we literally said, okay, we want to do this thing. We don't have an official newsroom that's going to sponsor us or anything. It's like, okay, let's post this. Let's get it out in the world and let the internet do its thing. And I mean, I think for us and what we're doing, it's worked out pretty well. And I think for anybody looking to get into, I guess, the people business, it's what better way to go about it. It's using the internet. The internet connects us all over the world, and utilizing wisely. Like, I mean, the internet, I feel like, is very interesting because it's so easy to, you know, doom scroll or, like, waste your time on it, but it's also such a valuable tool that if you know how to use it, if you know how to use internet, if you know how to use AI, like, take advantages of these tools,
Yeah.
you can actually put yourself in a better spot when you're trying to connect with people.
And I mean, when you think about it, like, 15 years ago, Skype was a thing, and that was like the new biggest thing in the world, and that being able to talk to someone thousands of miles away was an insane innovation. And now, I mean, like, you can text someone on WhatsApp, you can have a conversation with someone, you can, and it's that easy to get there too. It's as far as like a people-focused business like this goes, multimedia goes, I think that there's never been a bigger interest in it either, just because of social media. Despite its downfalls, it also has that people are curious. People are curious in things like this, and being able to, feel that sense of curiosity is also a huge plus, and it's possible. So,
Well, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. To our viewers out there, make sure to follow NC State's Innovation Entrepreneurship, and more importantly, follow Nomads Eyes for more of their stories.
Yes.
Bye.
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 Entrepreneurship is for everyone, regardless of who you are, what you study, and what change you want to make. Follow our socials at NC State Innovation and Entrepreneurship so you learn how to think and do outside of the box.